let's take a look at our friend PowerPoint over here. Real kind of cartoony looking PowerPoint, which I'm not too wild about, but it is what it is. The basics are there. So when you use PowerPoint, obviously you are using a program that is a presentation package. So far we looked at Word for word processing, and now we're looking at Excel for spreadsheeting, and now PowerPoint for presentation. And PowerPoint really came out of Excel back in the days when people wanted to do presentations. They would take pictures with a real camera of their Excel screen, or printouts, and then make slides and blow those up. And when they went to presentations, they pop out with all their data and whatever. So Microsoft came out with this idea: why not just bundle this kind of slide deck package in with Word and Excel, and we'll call it the Office Suite. So that worked out really well, and it put other companies out of business that were making these slide deck programs. And the rest is history. So PowerPoint is certainly something that can be very useful. It's a great tool. I use it a lot to think through projects. You can film storyboard with it. You can also bore the hell out of people. So, one of the things that you don't want to do is just read off the slides, or, have too much text on the slides. There's all kinds of no-nos. So you guys should think about taking the presentation class with me. It's an elective class, AC 262. You're probably beyond it now. But in any event, let's take a look at some of the things in PowerPoint. So first of all, you have these different panes that you can address in different ways here. You can make them bigger or smaller. By looking at the normal view, you generally see 3 panes. Okay, so you'll see a notes view down here where I can create some notes and I can print them out. I can see a graphic view where I'm going to do all my graphics, and then I can see over here a thumbnail view where I can see that. And if I go view over here, I can also change these views. So here's the outline view. So this is great if we want to do, you can even import directly in here from Word an outline. So maybe someone else is doing the content, you're doing the layout. So that's a good way to do that. You can also see the sorter view. And of course, this is great for a kind of logistical progression through the show. And you can certainly change the order here if you want to change, make one slide before the other or whatever. So this is great for kind of sequencing and thinking how your storytelling is going to happen. Here's the notes page. So again, the notes you could print out or see on your screen as you're presenting. And over here, instead of saying what we do, connect kids to fun through science, you would have a script down here that you could deliver and make it sound much more conversational. So then you have the master view. We're going to take a look at that too. So the master view is this idea that there's a grand master, and then there's masters for every layout. So there's content master, title master, all different kinds of master views. So what is a master view? Basically, it's a background. So you can see this kind of green, I think it's called constellation. That's in the background of every slide. And then you can see the fonts are the same, things like that. So those are kind of what we call global changes. So if I went over here in the Grandmaster, for instance, and I took the title and decided to change the color of the font to red, well, that would make a global change so that every master slide in the layouts here would all be red. And of course, any slide I make, when I make a new slide, would then have a red title. So great for consistency and uniformity and things like that. The other thing you can do besides global changes, you can add new layouts in here. So I can actually create my own layouts. I might want to do something like insert a layout and make a custom layout. So then I can say, well, in this layout, I want to have, say, a chart or a place for a chart. And then you can just draw that out. And then there goes your chart layout. So when you just click on it, you'll be converted into Excel and you can make your chart. So the nice thing about this, obviously, is you can really customize that. The other thing you can do then is put repeating elements. So for instance, maybe I want my logo to be on all my slides. Let's try that for brand management, right? So I can do insert. I'll make just a shape so you get the idea. Here's my logo. Give this smiley face. Okay, so I'm going to insert that on the Grand Master. I hope. Why that's not working. There we go. So you can see when I make the shape on the Grand Master, it appears then on all the master slides. And if I view the normal view, it will be there on all the slides. And I can't obviously adjust it on the slides because it's not really there. It's on the master view. So I'd have to go back into View, Slide Master, and then I put it on all the masters because I put it on the Grand Master. So again, I can't edit it on one of the individual masters. I've got to go back to the Grand Master. And once I delete it, then it'll be off all the slides. So this is a great way. You can apply themes to these, and it's a great way to kind of brand yourself. You might want to make one that's, your personal kind of template, and then it has your font and your color. You can have different color schemes here. Even though it's still celestial, you can pick a different color scheme that might give it, some different variety or different brand kind of things. And then font pairs come together, picked by Microsoft. Unfortunately, on the Mac version, I cannot add my own. On the PC version, you can. I don't know why they don't let you do it, but it's again just Microsoft kind of sabotaging the Mac. You can do it on the colors though. So if you wanted to pick a custom kind of palette for your colors, you can do that. Okay, so that's the big thing about views, and the idea would be, what view am I going to use? Maybe I'll use my master view first, and then later on I'll use my normal view. And then, depending on if I want to do an outline or do graphics or whatever, I would look at those different views. Okay, I think I can take you guys through the actual project now. Any questions? Can someone just say something? Just so I know you're there.
All is good. Thanks, Professor.
Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at our guides for this one. And again, there is a kind of cartoony one. I would recommend staying away from clip art these days and something that's too cartoony. I mean, it's made for kids, so that might work. You're going to think about your target audience and all that stuff. But I like photos and illustrations, icons, things like that work really nice. And then, of course, not a lot of text. What you want to do on your PowerPoint is usually go with pictures, go with, titles and keywords and things like that. And I think that's all you really need. If you want to kind of expound upon it while you're doing a live presentation, you can even record your narration and things like that. We'll look at that next week. Okay, so I'm going to go relatively quickly, and please let me know if I'm going too quick. You can ask for me to do it again or slow down a little bit. Okay, so the first thing then is pretty straightforward. They want you to modify these images here, these pictures, all the shapes, to have the same look on them. So first I'm going to select one of them. Now if you double click, just like just about anything in Office, when you double click on it, you'll get a new ribbon that'll allow you to kind of format that particular contextually sensitive object. So I'll give you a shortcut. They tell you to do all the pictures, and then they tell you to paint it later to the shapes, but just do one of them and you can paint it to all the other ones afterwards. So what they're looking for is the beveled oval. So if you pull this down, a lot of this might be really rudimentary, but sometimes you got to search around. Sometimes they have slightly different names on the Mac too. And this one is good. It's pretty compatible. I looked at it, and then there's all these Mac hints. So hopefully it won't grade you wrong. Okay, so there's the beveled oval. And then the blue 18-point glow. So over here now, you have some other parameters you can adjust. So the glow ones are here. We're going to look at these presets. And I think the ones on the bottom are the 18-point ones. Yeah. So you got to go to one of those guys. I'm not going to go crazy with every little thing, but you get the idea. And then the next one is the color is harsh. Okay, so you go to the 3D format, and it's the lighting. You can change obviously other things too, make them look more 3D. So the lighting one is here, and then I think this is harsh. No, that's metal, plastic. That is harsh. Am I looking at lighting? No, I'm not looking at lighting. That's why this is the lighting one. Okay. Yeah, so that's harsh. Okay, so we've got everything happening there so far, I think, right? Change the lighting to harsh, right. So now what we do is we click on the Format Painter. So you go home, and with this guy still selected, here's the Format Painter. Now it should work if you double click on it, that you can do everything. So click on that, click on that, click on that. Basically click on all the things that are in there. And then when you want to turn it off, just click on it again. If you only single click on it, it'll go off right away as soon as you use it. So that is the Format Painter. Good, so that's the whole first objective. Let me know if there's any questions. The next thing is even more Mr. Rogers does PowerPoint. So let's go to slide 2, and we're going to do a connector. So a connector is a shape. We're going to go to Insert, and you can insert all kinds of things. I'll just embellish it a little bit. You can make new slides, and you're going to see all your layouts there. Here's the one that I created, actually, and I didn't name it, so I just called it blank, but, or maybe not. That might actually be a blank one. But, I would name this. It was in there, too, and this way it would be, more recognizable. So I can insert all kinds of shapes. Smart art is kind of cool. You can turn it into a graphic look right away. Charts about, and then, all the other kinds of interesting things. Next week we'll look at audio and video, which should be a little more fun. So these connectors are going to be under shapes, and here they are. I think for an elbow connector, this is an arrowed elbow connector. So we get that, and I think we just drag it, and you can see you've got that connector there. So this is great for kind of logical thinking or mapping something out. Now again, with the selected, you get a format shape on ribbon, and of course they're going to tell you to do that. So format shape, they're looking for the intense, and intense is the last row here. They're more intense, and then I think they're looking for a red one, so it's accent 3, which is this guy. Okay, I don't know how intense it made it, but there it is. And then you can change the weight. That's all going to be in here too. So let's just see format shape, make sure this is highlighted. And then here's the weight. You can type these things in or just go up by increments. I'm going to make it more. They say whatever, 2 1/4 or whatever. I'm just going to make it more just so you can see how it actually works. Okay, so now we have a much heavier weight there. And then the next thing is to apply intense line to the yellow accent over here. So get that. If you don't see it right away, double click on it, and then it's the intense yellow. So that's going to be this guy here. Okay, and again, we can adjust the weight and get a little bit of a bigger thing there. Okay, good. So the next thing now is to open the slide master. We're good with that. So I'm going to go to View and then Slide Master. So remember, now we're looking at the global kind of changes and things like that. So the first thing they ask you to do is to color the bullets. So let's go to our Grandmaster, which has bullets. And we're going to highlight these guys. And anything you do now basically is the same thing that you would do on any slide if you're just working. So I'm going to go home and go to bullets and numbering over here. Scroll down all the way. This is how you modify it. So here's the color of the bullets, and they want some kind of green. I think, again, I'm not going to go crazy with it, but we'll pick that. And they want them to be 108% of text, so that'll be this guy. Bring that up to 108. You can customize them in other ways too. You can even put little pictures, and there's all kinds of icons here that might look better. But you see they turn green. Maybe they could be bigger, but it is what it is. Okay, the next thing are these drawing guides. Now, if you don't see your ruler and your drawing guides, they're under View. So you go View, and then here's the ruler, which is handy to have on the screen, and then there's the guides. Now remember, this guide is on the master, so it'll show up this way on every slide. And in this case, they want you to drag it to 1 inch to the right. Okay, so there you are. That's there. And now close the master view, so you can just go back to View Normal. And you'll see there's that drawing guide is there. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, we should have also green, right? Green bullets. We do. So That is the master change. And remember, if you wanted to do anything else on the master, like change the background over or add a repeating element like a logo or slide number, you could do that on the grandmaster. So the next thing is slide 3, how we do it. So what they're looking for here is just a simple thing, and that's, if you're sharing this, you might, toss ideas around. So if you go to the review tab, you can obviously check your spelling, which you'd probably want to do, but you can also add comments. So if I click on add comments, it knows it's me. So I'm just going to say new comment, and they say something about photos. Okay, so that comment there would be then seen and reviewable by anybody else who opens this when you put it online or whatever to share it, and they could go through your comments and maybe say, oh, he wants photos here or whatever. Okay, the next thing is slide 4. Will it melt? I hope so. So what you want to do on this slide, the big thing is align or distribute. So you can move these pictures around, and they all kind of size up already. So they want you to align and distribute them. They say to kind of just bring them up or whatever. So you don't want to eyeball these things. I mean, this you can see I can lock it up, right? They want you to lock them all up to the margin. And then if you go to home and then arrange, this will allow you to do the alignment that you want. So you can align it left, center, right, top, bottom, middle for the slide, but also you can distribute them vertically and horizontally. So now I may not have an even amount here, so watch what happens when I distribute them vertically. Oops, that's not supposed to happen. First of all, I distributed just one of them, that was it. So I'm going to put a bounding box by clicking and dragging around the 3 of them and try it again. So distribute vertically, and so now they should be equally distributed like that. The other thing you can do is with that bounding box, you can certainly move them together, but you can also group them. So if you wanted to go to arrange, again, you could group them together, and then you could move them together and also even resize them together. So you wouldn't have to see they resize proportionally now as one object. Kind of cool. I don't know if they tell you that, but that's another thing that's under arrange that you can do in there. Making layers too, if you want something in front of something else, you can do that. Like here, you can see that's in front of the text, but we can also send it backward. Okay? Put it back where they want it. We're almost done. This is a real easy chapter. So the next thing then is to go to slide 5. And on slide 5, we're going to make some changes in the text. So the first thing is the left margin text box to 0.04. So you see when I click on this, I get this column here. So all you got to do if you want to move the alignment here is make sure that you're in there and then drag the bottom. Remember, this is a first line indent. This is a hanging indent. The bottom one moves everything. So we're going to go to 0.4, and that would be right there, right before the middle of his 0.5. Okay, you can see how that moves that. And the next thing is the line spacing. So again, this is just like any kind of line spacing. As long as this text box is selected, here is your line spacing, and they want 1.5, and you can see that moves it around, even changes the size of the text to fit inside the text box. Okay, so the next thing then is to look at the animation. So let's go to the animation pane here. And we can actually, if you click on the animation pane, you can see the animation. So there it is, the chocolate drips down. It's very kind of eerie. So we get the chocolate, and then there's actually a painter for the animation too, just like the format painter. So we can use that animation painter to paint the same animation to our friends, the fruit there. That's what we want to do. And then we want to change it to zoom in. So that's going to be over here. So these are the ones that when you enter, when the animation enters, and then while it's on the screen, it can do something else, kind of like for reference. Maybe it'll spin for a second, and then it can also go off the screen if you want to do. So you can have like 3 animations for one object. It comes on, it has some kind of emphasis, and then it goes off. You can do these kind of bills, and things like that moving around on the slide, which might be fun. So anyway, they want zoom here. So you just pull this guy down, and zoom is in the moderate group, right? So here it is. Okay, so it just zooms in at you like that. Okay, so let me just show you in the animation pane then, you have the actual animation. So when we play it, I might have added an extra one. You can see, the whole thing will happen here. It should actually show you all three of them. So let's play from animation one. First the chocolate drips, then that drips, and then it zooms. So I don't want both of those, I don't think. So we can actually remove one of them here. And then if we wanted to, we can also change the order. So here, let's make the fruit come on first. And now it's fruit first and chocolate second. Okay? You can also adjust some of the options. So depending on how the parameters, the way it's going to go. And they want you to change the duration of picture 4. So that would be under timing, okay, and duration. You can pick their presets, but they want 0.75, which might be a preset, but I'll just put it in custom. Okay, and there you go. So that is the animation. Basically, the idea is you can change the order. You can see what's animated when you see these numbers. They're called animation tags. And then you can adjust the effect. Sometimes they have different effects or whatever, and then the timing here and sequencing, whether you want it to occur automatically as the slides change, or you want to manually change it. I like manually changing a lot of these animations because you can make, for instance, this bulleted list appear one bullet at a time. So you don't want everybody reading crayons while you're talking about chocolate. So that's a great way to kind of spoon feed it. If you animate a bulleted list like that, you can make it come out one at a time. All right, only wide left, and then it's time for breakfast. Okay, so what are we having? Grilled cheese. So this one is apply the shape entrance. So we get this guy first, and then it's the shape entrance, which is going to be this one, right? See what's there first. It's an oval in or a circle in, and they want to box out. So go over here, change it to box, right? And then change it to out, and then we'll preview it. And that certainly looks better with that one, right? So we get that, box out, and again, it's just to change the time. So on this one, the time is going to be 1.5 seconds. Is that one of the ones? A little faster than this? Let's see. I don't know. Whatever, it's 1 second. So you can't do it in the middle, but you can customize it. So 1.5 seconds, and there we go. And then you can play the animation. And believe it or not, that's it. So after all that grueling Excel, a little, kind of lightheartedness in PowerPoint,